So last time I discussed FDI, FPI, and sebi, and this time I'm discussing about Investor Service Fund. So what is Investor Service Fund and Investor Protection Fund? What is Investor Protection Fund? Service Fund and Protection Fund. So SEBI, you know about the SEBI. SEBI is came out with the comprehensive guidelines for the Investor Protection Fund, Investor Service Fund, and this maintained by the SEBI, Stock Exchange and Depositors. Okay, this is maintained by the stock exchanges and depositors. So investor protection fund, objective of the established and investor protection fund is to protect the interest of the participant, like the stockbroker and the investors. Okay, and of the exchange. So establishment, all stock exchange and the depositors shall be established under the investor protection fund. So there will be all stockholders will be there, and depositors will be there in the stock protection fund. And all stock exchange and depositors shall establish this. A depository is financial institution and organization that accept deposit from the business and individuals also. An asset in buying and selling of financial instrument, that is known as a depository. Okay, so there is the administration, that is investor protection fund of the stock exchange. The depository shall be administered through the separate trust. There will be a trust, and in this trust they are administered. Segregated funds is also there for there, and that is also governed by the SEBI. And segregated IPF is immune from any liability of the stock exchange. So this fund, investor protection fund, that is immune from the liability. That is immune from the liabilities. Okay, and the review, the stock exchange and depositor shall conduct a half yearly review for the adequacy of the IPF corpus. So now there is a stock exchange. See, this is contribution of the IPF, and this is utilization of the IPF. Okay, so stock exchange there is a 1% listing fee received. So 1% will be the listing fee. Listing fee will be the 1%. 100% of the interest earned on the 1% security deposit kept by the issuer company at the time of offering of the security for the subscription of the public. So 100% interest you are going to earn on the 1% security deposit, because there is a listing fee is only 1%, and now 100% interest will be there. Okay, and now offering of the security for the subscription to the public. Penalty collected from the trading members and from the listed companies for known companies with the SEBI regulation. If there is any penalties, then that will be regulated by the SEBI. At least 70% of the interest or income received out of any investment made by the IPF. तो यहाँ पर कम से कम at least 70% investment should be there in the IPF, like investment protection fund, to meet the legitimate investment claims, and no defaulting, like no insider trading should be there, to pay interim relief to the investor. That's why this investor protection fund has been launched, so that legitimate investment should be there, and no insider trading, and there should be interim relief to the investors. Now in the second side there is a depositor. First is stock exchange, there will be a 1% listing fee, and now second side is a depositor. So in depositor side there will be the 5% of their profit from the depository operation. All fines and penalties from the depository participants and other member, and the interest or income received out of any investor made by the IPF. So interest will be made by the interest protection fund. Promotion of the investor education, investor awareness and program will be there, and literacy, market literacy, participation, and to meet the legitimate claims of the beneficial owner. So this is known as the investor protection fund. And there's a stock exchange 1% limit for the fee, limit of legitimate fee, and 100% interest will be we are drawing from there. Depositor side, 5% of their profit from the depositor operation will be there in the investor protection fund. Now second fund is investor service fund. Now second type of fund is investor service fund. What it is? It is provide a different kind of the service to the investing public, like education, awareness program, dissemination of the company information. So funding is based on the 20% of the listing fee. So in an investor protection fund, there was a 1% listing fee. But in investor service fund, there is a 20% listing fee. Listing fee is 20%, providing service to the investors, and supervision of the investor service fund will be rest with the regulatory oversight committee. There is a regulatory oversight committee. This will regulate all this investment. Institution specified the Stock Exchange Clearing Corporations Regulation Act 2018, and the financial entity that provide the essential infra for running the daily operation in the stock market, that also included in the investor service fund. So what is utilization of the investor service fund in the stock exchange? First, promoting the education, investor education, promoting the awareness. 50% corpus should be spent in the tier 1 and tier 2 cities, and cost of training will be arbitrator. Now transfer of unutilized IPF, unutilized IPF or unutilized ISF is also there. So after that, they can be transferred in other depository. So this is Investors Protection and Education Fund is also there, and that is also governed by the SEBI, Investor Protection and Education Fund. So after that, they can transfer in the unutilized can be transferred in the Investor Protection and Education Fund. Now, there is an Investor Protection Education Fund, that is the 2007 SEBI launched this fund, and it regulates under the SEBI Regulation Act of 2009. Okay, and it is funded through the contribution of the SEBI and grants and donations by the central government and the state government and the security deposits and amount of the IPF and ISF. Okay, so that is the de-recognized stock exchange. We can say the de-recognized stock exchange, IPF, Investor Protection Fund, ISF, Investor Service Fund, and that is under the Investor Protection Education Fund, that is launched by the SEBI in 2007. Now, next topic is about the social stock exchange. What is social stock exchange? That is also approved by the SEBI for the flexibility in the framework of the social stock exchange, and this is a flexible fund in the social stock exchange. So it is issuing the zero coupon and zero principal. There is a zero coupon, no coupon rate. Okay, and there is a zero principal. No principal is providing to purchase this kind of fund, and donation through the mutual fund. And you can donate it from the mutual fund for the NPO. Okay, for the NPO. Now this is issued only by the NPO registered as a stock exchange, social stock exchange. So registered NPO, there you can get this kind of the fund, and it neither offer interest nor return the principal. So no interest will be there, no interest will be there, and nor the returns in the principal, and you are not going to get any return from the principal. So this is a zero coupon and zero principal fund. Issuance of the equity and debt instrument, and this issuance of the equity and the debt instrument for the FPE. So social stock exchange is a segment of the existing stock exchange, and this can help to the social enterprises such as NPO, non-profit organizations, and for the for-profit enterprises to raise the fund from the public. Okay, so eligible activities for the demonstrating primary social impact includes the eradicating the hunger, poverty, malnutrition, inequality, promoting education, financial inclusion, slum development. So what is entity not eligible to identified as a social enterprises? So first is corporate foundation. They are not included in the social enterprises. Second is political and the religious organization. They are also not included social enterprises. Professional trade, they are also not included, and infrastructure housing companies, they are also not included in the social enterprises. So what kind of enterprises included in the social organization as a eligible criteria as a recognizing a social enterprises is at least 67% immediately preceding 3-year average of the revenue comes from providing eligible activity to member of the target population. If they are giving their 60% of the preceding like total 60% they are providing to the target population, 3-year average revenue generation, that means for the eligible activities, that is a social enterprises. Second, at least 67% of immediately proceeding 3-year average of the expenditure. So there was a revenue, 3-year revenue. Now 3-year expenditure also has been incurred for providing eligible activity to member of the target population. And third criteria is member of target population to whom eligible activity has been provided constitute at least 67% immediately preceding 3-year average of total customer base. So customer base is also 67%. Expenditure, total average expenditure is also 67%, and total average revenue is also 67% of total 3 year. If you are providing this all to the target population, that means you are now under in the social enterprises. Okay, so this is the criteria for the social enterprises. Now next topic is the next we'll discuss the external sector. So I'm starting one topic as a external. Now there's a foreign trade policy next, and third topic is here, that is trade facilitation and the ease of doing business. Okay, trade facilitation and ease of doing. Next is export promotion initiative by the FTP, and next topic is other key initiative by the FTP, and next one is free trade agreements of the India. What where is the free trade agreements, and global trade barriers are also included in this, and World Trade Organization is also included in this external sector. De-dollarization is also included in this, and remittances are also included in this, and next is liberalized remittance scheme is also included in this, and credit rating agencies are also external sector. Now this is topic is finished. So now I'll discuss external sector in the next session. I hope you are enjoying my lectures. I'm trying to improve day by day actually. Thank you.